Hi guys, it's Katie and I have a food prep video. This time I'm making some hard-boiled eggs, some hamburger buns. I got some produce deals, so I'm prepping some bananas and okra for the freezer. And I'm going to dry some herbs out of my herb garden. I'm going to start with the eggs, and everybody has a method for hard-boiling eggs that they swear by. I like to use a pressure cooker. And there's a really great pressure cooking website, which I will link down below, where I learned about this, but ever since I tried it this way, I refuse to go back to any other method. They always come out perfectly. So once they're cooked, I'm just going to remove them from the pressure cooker and put them in an ice bath, just like you normally would with hard-boiled eggs. And I'm just cracking the shells a little bit with the spoon. And once they're cooled down, I'm going to go ahead and peel them. And you can see how easily they peel. These are fresh eggs and they peel that easily. And then once the eggs are peeled, I just throw them back in the ice water there just to rinse off any shell fragments. And then I'm just going to put the eggs in a container and store them in the refrigerator. Next I'm going to work on the hamburger buns, and I've already done a whole video in detail explaining how to make these hamburger buns, so it'll have the recipe as well as tips on how to form the hamburger buns or hot dog buns and how you can make a proofing box with your microwave. So check out the video. I will link it down below and I'll put it in a card here so you can click on it if you're interested in making these for yourself. But I love this bread dough, this recipe. It's really simple and I haven't had any problems with it. So I'm gonna make it makes 8 buns. I'm gonna make 4 now, and then 4 I'm gonna put in the freezer for later. So I'm just mixing up my dough and I just knead it by hand. It's really simple. It's not even worth getting the KitchenAid out to mix it or knead it. I'm just gonna knead it by hand. It only takes about 6 minutes to knead. And then once the dough is ready, I'm just gonna divide it into 8 equal portions and form my little buns. And 4 of them are going to go onto a cookie sheet to bake now, and 4 of them are going to go on this plate, and I'll just pop it in the freezer, and whenever I'm ready to use them, I'll pull them out of the freezer, put them on the cookie sheet, and let them thaw and rise at the same time. Next up is the bananas. I got a big bunch of bananas for 19 cents a pound, so I knew that I would be putting some of them in the freezer because I can't eat that many bananas all at once. And I'm just gonna slice them into my plastic containers. I'm just slicing them so that they fit better in here. I usually just mash the bananas up for banana bread, and I can get about 3 or 4, depending on the size, bananas, so that's just about perfect amount for one recipe of banana bread. So I'm just gonna slice the bananas into the containers, cover with a lid, and then label and date the containers, and they're ready for the freezer. Pretty much the same thing for the okra. I got a good deal on this okra, and I usually use okra frozen anyway, so pulling it out of the freezer is not a big deal. I use it in soups and stews and curries, so usually gets cooked down, so having it frozen is not a problem at all. So I'm just chopping it up into the bite-sized pieces, and I'm going to put it in these containers and just do the same thing. Lid, label, freezer. The last thing I'm going to work on this week is just harvesting some herbs from my herb garden. I'm going to do some oregano and some thyme, and I'm just going to give them a quick rinse, and then I'm kind of picky. I don't like a lot of stems in my herbs, so I'm going to pull each leaf off of the stem. And I do this a few times throughout the summer when they're growing and looking nice, so that I have plenty of dried herbs for throughout the winter when they're dormant. And it is a little bit tedious, so that's why I just do a little bit here and there. Once I have all the leaves pulled off, I'm just going to cover them with a napkin to keep them clean from dust and dog hair, and just let them sit on the counter for a few days. And then once they're fully dry, I just pack them into these little spice jars. These spice jars are from IKEA, but you could reuse any kind of little jar. So I had quite a bit of oregano and just a little bit of thyme. Thyme hasn't fully recovered from my pruning this spring, but that's all I have for you this time. I hope you enjoyed my food prep video. Sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.